Hey everybody, Gutter Bird here. It's Monday again, so that means
No storage place.
Talk. That's jive talk for marijuana.
Nudity on slick paper.
What do you mean it's Monday again? We don't
Yeah,
do Monday shows. This must be a special day.
yeah, it's kind of like an anniversary.
Like an anniversary.
Yes, Bird. And speaking of anniversaries, El Enigma, Adam loves you very much, and he has a question to ask you right now. So how long are we supposed to wait while he does this? Should we be quiet? Should we just
Well, who the hell talks over a proposal?
us, I guess, because we are, as of right now, talking over a proposal.
Sorry.
But anyway, yeah, that happened. Adam contacted us like 4 fucking days ago on Thursday and was like, hey, can you help us? Me.
Hey.
And I'm like, yeah, we can.
You can't do a British accent.
So yeah, this is why we are here on this extra special Monday episode.
So it wouldn't have been gay, it would have been, oi! Oh, wait,
So-
that's Australian? I'm confused.
We're not here just for that. We actually are doing a whole entire fucking episode.
Yes.
And it's all dedicated to El Enigma and Adam. And what we did today was marriage
Is that
today.
that's going to be our wedding present, is this video?
Well,
that they
it's-
can back on many years from now and many grandchildren and be like, look, those two fat fucks talked about it. They helped us get married.
yeah.
And they'll be like, damn, Grandpa, you're stupid.
But on that note, let's help them get through their marriage by doing Marriage Today from 1950.
I mean, I guess they would be British children. So they'd be like, Granddad, were you always this dumb?
Yes, he was. So anyway, are we cool with all of that?
Are you asking me or El Enigma?
No, that's you.
Oh, yeah, well, I'm cool with it. I hope she is, too.
Okay. So we're moving on?
Okay. Yeah, moving on. Unless you want to take an intermission and breathe a little bit.
No, I'm good. So this opens up with this couple walking through the park, as I picture now being Adam and El Enigma. Unless she said no, and then the rest of this video is for naught.
Unless she said no, and then you just picture Adam crying alone in a park.
So anyway, they're sitting on this fucking park bench and talking. We can't hear it because it's, all we hear is narrator throughout the thing, because, 1950. And then the voiceover talks about love.
It's always wonderful and special and new. Sure, other folks think they know what it's all about. Millions of other folks. But when do two people ever really love each other as we do?
This couple goes home. Adam and El Enigma go home. I'm not going to stick with that because this has multiple couples through it, and I can't remember which couple this is.
You'll
What?
just keep saying Adam and El Enigma for every couple. Whatever.
So yeah, they go home, and then they have imaginary food, because she's like cooking imaginary food like it's Hook. Like she's one of the Lost Boys.
Can you go on this? Thank you.
Dude, that'd be great. I want to bang a rang and just have some friggin', whatever I want, especially like whatever that one thing was. I don't know. It was like multicolored and
Pudding.
whatever it was, it looked good and I wanted it.
Well, dude, she was obviously making imaginary eggs. But besides that, Adam's out at the table reading the imaginary paper.
So back in the 50s, everything was imaginary.
Pretty much, man.
But dude, like they definitely overanalyzed marriage hardcore back then. You know what I mean? It was a big deal. Getting together was a big deal. Everything was a big deal.
It's still a big deal.
Nowadays, everybody plays leapfrog, They're like, I'm not happy with this relationship, blub. Not happy with this relationship, blub. Not happy with this one, blub. They just keep going from relationship, blah, 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 blah.
But that's kind of why we ended up doing this PSA, because surprisingly, it wasn't a don't get married PSA like 99% of them are. But yeah, 'cause I thought it'd be kind of weird if we did like an anti-marriage one for Adam and Enigma's fucking proposal thing. So we did this one, which gives some pretty decent advice throughout it about like, realistic marriage. Not like, it's not all a fairy tale.
Right, but it's great. You're like, we didn't want to like, yeah, we're like, hey, question, and then be like, oh, and here's all the reasons why not to.
This gives reasons why people did, I guess. So back to the fantasy. El Enigma, as we're still calling her, for some fucking reason, brings Adam his imaginary breakfast, and they are very in love.
Imagine a home of our own. A home made of smiles and love, of hope and cheer. A home safe against trouble and loneliness. A sunny, cozy place, all of our own. And you'll do this, and I'll do that. And we'll never want it to be any other way again, ever, for the rest of our lives.
But the dream can turn into a nightmare.
The dream of a home of your own, when you go looking for it, can turn into a nightmare.
Because you can end up living in slums.
A social blight called slums. A health problem called overcrowding.
Or trailer parks.
An economic deadlock called housing. These can be love nests in a real world. This is what often shelters young family life in our time.
Yeah, you could end up married to Tom Arnold.
Yeah, or any of those dudes that Roseanne ended up married to. Or Roseanne. Or any of the dudes that Roseanne married, because, they had it pretty... It doesn't matter! Moving on. Yeah. But I do say, the one thing that is the same between the slums and the trailer park is all the white laundry hanging outside.
Yeah. In the 50s, everything was white.
Including all of the people in film.
Right.
So we find out that nowadays, in 1950, that youngsters give pause about getting married because of, looming war and whatnot.
It's not surprising if young people are given pause by the fears of our age, by the threat of war. War that twice in their parents' lifetime called young husbands away from their family life.
That hasn't fucking changed much.
Because they could have been called away at whatever point, So nowadays, it's funny that the country asked my grandfather and others to go to war for the country, Now we're asking people just stay home and watch Netflix, and we're like, no! No! I want a haircut!
Yeah, that's the thing, dude. That's the thing. But anyway...
Go to Fuddruckers and increase my calorie intake. Meh.
But speaking of all that stuff, we're now bringing up that in 1950 is an age of unrest and change.
It's an age of unrest and change, both individual and social. An age of confused personal values.
And very, very, many, very, 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 very bad things happen.
Of widespread domestic difficulties, culminating in a fabulous number of broken homes. Permanent relationship amid such impermanence.
Yes.
I don't know why I kind of, my brain kind of skipped the fucking process there, so it turned into the merry, merry month of May. And then, the people that are of age to get married now were born during the Depression.
The young men and women ready for marriage today were born in a depression. Where can they find the courage and hope to take the responsibility of making what should be the most secure of all worlds a home in the atmosphere of competition and chaos that seems to be the world around us?
And they're aware of, the problems raising kids and the cost brings.
It's not cowardice that makes them think twice about the problems of raising children. In a world where the tight reins of dollars and cents must ever govern the individual's creative instincts, where ambition is confined to the chasm between inflation and deflation, where rising living costs seem always to outdistance lagging earning power. It's a tough world, this world the young people are supposed to inherit.
Back then, they used to analyze all that stuff, take into account certain things, They don't do that anymore. That's why we have feral kids running around the neighborhood.
But some people take all of this into account, like Adam and Enigma. Ding! So anyway, moving on from that.
We hope.
But some couples, like Adam and Enigma, hopefully, persevere and get married anyway.
Yeah.
And the inner drive to grow up and have children, to make a life that is richer, more satisfying, more pleasurable than any other, is strong within them. In spite of the conditions around them, they are determined to find a way to raise a family, and a way to give strength and permanence to that family.
And marriage is different today than yesterday.
Marriage in most of America today is a little different from what it was yesterday.
And people are different nowadays.
Because the people are a little different.
Are you saying that for nowadays? Because they sure are.
I'm saying it for all days. So now we meet Phyllis Burns.
Phyllis Burns, housewife, by choice.
She had her own job. She worked at a hospital.
A year ago, she was Phyllis Hagen. She was staining slides in the pathology lab down at the hospital.
Yeah, she was independent.
She had her own money.
At 23, she was earning her own living and living her own life. Her work was useful and interesting. And in her time, being a bachelor girl isn't the social disgrace it was when our parents called them spinsters.
And she didn't marry because she fucking had to.
Phyllis didn't marry because she had to, or because it was a duty. She could take it or leave it.
She married because she wanted kids.
But it was the idea of children mostly that made Phyllis say yes.
Well, because she ran into some kid, and I love the interaction. The kid runs up and she kneels down and she's like, oh. Nowadays, people are like, get away from my kid.
And because she didn't have any kids yet, she only had half a life.
The idea of a life with no one of her own to love and care for seemed to her like only half a life or less.
I feel like I have no kids and I have a full life. People with kids have no lives because they're their kids' lives. Bird.
Hey, I like it.
You don't have a choice.
I know I have a choice, and I like it. Some people don't like it. You can see it on their faces, and I see these parents, and I feel bad for them because they had them, and they're like they didn't want them, and now they have them. And it didn't that point of when they first saw their kid. They didn't go like, they were like, and they've been doing it ever since. Like, I didn't ever have that. I was always pretty genuinely excited to have my children and still excited to be a parent.
But anyway, back to Phyllis. She met Chad.
She met Chad at the university in a math course. She got the better grades. Now he's an engineer.
He made a decision to marry her, but responsibly.
People aren't stopped by geography or class distinctions in selecting a marriage partner nowadays. Chad didn't choose Phil for money or connections or even because she seemed the most wonderful girl on earth. He'd known other girls that he liked, both socially and in his work. Sure, he was in love with Phyllis, but he wasn't looking for a miracle. He was looking for a wife.
He weighed out the decision and, like an adult.
And he chose carefully, without help, as he does most things. He did it with a sense of being responsible for it, trying to know as many facts as possible, and then acting with faith in himself and in her.
He didn't just jump right in.
He didn't just be like, let's go to Vegas and get married by Elvis.
Hey, what's wrong with getting married by Elvis?
Nothing at all. And dude, there's nothing wrong with rushing in and getting married either. If, you both are fucking happy. Do whatever. Do you.
Yes. You do you.
And we'll be over here doing us.
Yes. Like if you want to propose at the Eiffel Tower or have two fat fuckballs from Pittsburgh help you out with it.
Yeah, dude. But anyway, we move on to meet Catherine. She's a teacher and a modern woman.
Catherine Hartford, another wife in our town, believes a married woman is a person too. Catherine is modern, with modern ideas about education and marriage as well.
She's a modern woman.
Well, dude, she is aware that men are not her masters.
To her, the husband is not the master, the wife a slave.
She doesn't think that the fucking kids are any less than her.
She doesn't think of the children in her classes as inferior to her.
And she doesn't think that she's any less than any man.
And she doesn't think of herself as inferior in any way to Frank, who she married 4 years ago.
As it should be.
And, the man she chose to marry was Frank!
Frank!
Bobby! Sorry. I'm sorry, Adam and Enigma. I'm absolutely sorry that we had to pull Bride of Frank into your fucking special day, but the dude's name's Frank.
Frank! Frank! Believe a word he says. He's all too happy to bring out Frank! Frank!
You're right, dude. I am so glad that Bride of Frank is now going to be part of their engagement story. That's all me.
Yeah.
I'm not sorry.
I'm sorry that, like, if on the wedding night you suddenly get, like, a vision of Frank's feet in your head, you're like, ah! Frank!
Dude, you know, if you wouldn't have brought up his feet, I wouldn't have had to show his feet. But since you brought up his feet, they were there. So now, yeah.
Now put his feet in, like, a trance-like thing, you know, circling the screen. Frank! Frank!
Me.
Money?
So anyway, moving on from Bride of Frank.
The Bride of Enigma.
Blah, blah, blah. Catherine knows that people are different, but not better.
Different? Yes. As every man is from every woman. As every individual is from any other individual. But one isn't better than the other for those differences.
See, dude, for being 1950, this had some pretty sound advice for all-around kind of life.
It did.
And Kathy is fulfilled and happy.
As a teacher and a mother, Kathy is a free, fulfilled human being. She's able to pull her weight in the partnership that is marriage. In a modern partnership, the rights and privileges, like the duties and responsibilities, are better balanced when they're equal.
Yes, even if Frank's a loser.
But anyway, no, Frank is not a loser. Frank is a businessman.
Frank is a businessman. Practical, responsible, sensible. He thinks of things in terms of cause and effect.
And he thinks practically.
Yes.
As a modern, he even thinks about marriage that way. Years ago, the marriage deal worked if the husband was sober and brought home the paycheck every week. If the wife was faithful and produced a house full of children.
And he knows nothing is perfect.
Frank knows it doesn't quite work that way anymore. He's shrewd about people. Meets a lot of them in the course of his business day. He knows a lot of happily married couples. But he also knows the divorce rate in America.
Like the shape of your head.
Oh, dude, the shape of my head's perfectly huge, man. It is fucking great. Look at this. Fucking great. So anyway, and oh yeah, marriage is like a car for some fucking reason. Here's some reasons.
Marriage is like a car, Frank says. To keep running smoothly, it's got to keep getting the fuel that makes it start and go in the first place. People have to go on liking each other in order to live together. The man has to be able to ask, is this a good thing for me, for her, for the child? And the answer has to be yes, at least pretty good, for all of us.
Marriage is like an oil filter. It needs change from time to time.
Hey, that's not nice to say on somebody's fucking whatever the fuck this is.
Did you expect nothing but nice things to come out of my mouth?
Fuck no. But I was about to say, like,
even Al and Adam are probably like, nah, we didn't expect that.
This was their his poor decision to ask us to do this. Her poor decision for saying yes. Wait, I'm sorry. I didn't mean that.
Yo!
You said yes.
Yes, like, put a like. Yeah, like it. Or, never mind. I fucked that all up.
Okay, I can't remember if I said this once already in here or if it was in the outtakes, but Adam, why don't you fucking comment, like, the fucking story of how it went, and I'll pin it. It'll be like, so when the first comment, so when people come up to watch this video, it'll be the first fucking comment.
So everybody doesn't have to live in suspense.
So I'm losing enthusiasm for this episode already, so I gotta, like, you know, not lose enthusiasm, so I gotta crank up that fake enthusiasm a little bit. And most normal people would take this part of the video out with me saying I'm losing enthusiasm. Not me, it's staying in. So anyway, we cut to this couple camping. And, you know, they talk about companionship and belonging and how that's most important.
Companionship, belonging. It's hard to hit on the right word, but that's most important in marriage. For me, anyhow.
Well, he's like, well, she went camping with her dad.
This has always been my way of combing out the tangles I get myself into. And And she used to go into these woods with her dad when she was a kid.
And I used to go camping with my buddy. And then we still go camping. And sometimes we get together and roll around, and I push him.
Roll in the hay.
Roll in the hay.
And then I push him and they say, why can't I quit you?
So whatever. Blah, blah, blah. Teamwork.
So you couldn't get a better team for the chores and for the fun. When I first met her, we found we kind of liked the same things, as well as liking each other. Sure, we'll argue about where the fish are biting today, but we can settle it without anger or a feeling we're each giving in to the other.
It's important to have teamwork.
Well, yeah, dude. It's like, why even be married if you're not going to, like, at least try to work as a fucking team, you know? That's, like, that's what marriage is. You guys have, like, one goal: to survive as long as you can together. That's it.
That's it? That's all it is?
That boils down to it, yeah. Dude, isn't that your goal with Jamie? Is just to, like, you know, survive together as long as you can before you inevitably die?
Oh, I guess when you put it that way, Jesus.
So, yeah, dude. That's what it all boils down to. But anyway, I don't know. But it is fun just to be with her.
It's fun just being with her. She can take tough breaks without getting fussed. If the sun isn't shining, we can usually fix our troubles with a laugh. Often, Phil and I don't have to say anything, and we know what we mean. That comes from being together so much and liking it.
That's what he says now.
But he does talk about the bond of relaxed silence.
That's probably the most wonderful thing of all. That bond of relaxed silence. I can know she's with me without having to touch her or talk to her. We're together. Really together.
Which is kind of nice.
Yeah, that basically means when she stops talking.
And you have nothing to say.
Yeah.
The bond of relaxed silence. And then we find out that being in love makes you a better person.
It's not always easy. I've got my own problems, but it sure pays off. And not only with her. By wanting to give her those things, I've learned how to give them to other people. The better I am with her, the better I am with the gang in the office. Gets to be a habit, I suppose, this husband business.
But I guess that is fucking true, because, I mean, if it wasn't for my wife, I would be fucking absolutely, I don't know what I would be.
So does that mean that Donald Trump has never been in love his entire life?
Yes.
But but he loves cheeseburgers. Don't you think that would make him a better person? Or do you think we need to catch him right after he's eaten a cheeseburger? Because that's probably when he's at his happiest.
Yeah? Dude, that's whenever I'm in my happiest.
When you ate a cheeseburger?
Yeah, dude, like the moment after you finish that cheeseburger, you're like,
That's the key. If we want all the good things, if we really want to make America great again, you got to just feed this fucker cheeseburgers. Just keep slamming cheeseburgers in his mouth. He'll be happy, and we'll get good things. He's just not getting his cheeseburger all day.
Oh,
and he's mad.
I'm sure he's getting his cheeseburgers. So, anyway.
He is the most fit, in shape president we've ever had. He's got abs.
He's the most everything president we've ever had. Because if you can say it, he's already said he's the most of it. So, anyway, now we cut back to Kathy, and she loves Frank.
I like Frank. I like liking him. I feel good way down inside when he's buzzing around nearby.
Mommy.
Even while he's gay.
Whether he's gay
or tired.
Or just busy old Frank like now.
What? Wait a minute. Roll the tape back. What did she say?
Whether he's gay.
Gay.
Even if he's gay. I know that meant
happy, dude. It's 1950. Gay is happy.
Gay meant happy. I know.
So, yeah, but anyway, she's happy.
I feel warm and cozy. When I like someone completely, without reserve, I find I like myself. I'm happy.
Until the pig even is the word.
Frank! is happy.
We're all a little like that, I guess. I can see it in Frank, the way he fusses over the house, or the tone of his voice when he talks to Buddy. It's fun to like.
Frank's always happy.
Oh, dude, this part is fucking great. And me and Bird have a little bit of contention over this part, so I guess when it comes to, like, post-production of this episode, we'll see. But now Kathy fucking says, you know, Frank is not the hottest.
Frank isn't the handsomest man in the world.
No.
Or the smartest.
Or the cleverest. But he won't ever make me ashamed of liking him.
She might as well just came out and said, like, in fact, he's downright ugly and dumb. You know? Because that's what she said.
Well, Bird says that he brings up his sexual performance. I do not remember this. So, Bird, you tell us what you think they said.
In 13 minutes and 15 seconds into this video, she says some shit like about how Frank likes action, but it doesn't last long. And I was like, whoa, what?
Sometimes when I want to stew quietly, Frank's need for action is a nuisance. But it doesn't last long.
You watch it. I thought I heard that.
Okay, I'm not down on you, dude. I was paying attention. You know, I could have missed it. I honestly could have fucking missed it.
I'm gonna say you missed it.
Frank can be annoying, but you know, so can everybody.
There are lots of things that interest me that he won't talk about because he finds them highbrow. We're different, but in the things that count, we never really get far from each other.
True. And sometimes she feels like hitting him over the head with a sledgehammer, but she doesn't do it.
Because she loves him.
Yes.
Then she says, love is a good diet.
Love can be a good, healthy diet, in spite of what they say about not living on it.
Love is good for children, even better than vitamins.
For growing kids, I think it's more important than vitamins.
That's not
Yeah, and she says something about how she sees the love and stuff in Buddy's eyes, you know, the kid that they have together. And I'm sitting there looking at him I was like, unfortunately, Buddy was born without a soul.
I sometimes think I can see our love in Buddy, in his eyes, in his smile. It's in the air that eats.
And love isn't bad for young women reaching middle age.
It's not bad for young women approaching middle age either.
Hey, that's what Kathy said, man.
Yeah, but I love Frank. I love Frank's response to this.
Yeah, because he's talking about, like, you know, her getting older.
Every new wrinkle, every gray hair. To tell the truth, she looks better to me every day. Kathy was always good looking.
Not looking as good anymore, but he still loves her and still thinks she's wonderful.
But since Buddy was born, something has happened to her looks. More peaceful, sweeter, realer.
I love it because he's like, every guy's thought of it before, and I'm like, exchanging the old model for a new one.
Sure, I've thought about it. Every married man does.
No, I'm sure Adam has never fucking thought of that fucking once. So anyway, because I guess we should say that today is their 11th anniversary. They've been together 11 years, and he is proposing on today, their anniversary. How fucking sweet. How fucking sweet to contact us to ruin your day. So anyway, Kathy and Frank, they don't get bored with each other.
I've tried to figure out why we don't get bored with each other the way people in novels seem to do. Naturally, we're getting older, but I don't notice it. Not in her. Not in me as far as she's concerned.
It might not be like the movies, but, hey, Frank says some very sweet things.
Yes, it may be different from the movie version, but the gal at home is the gal I go for, and not just as wife or companion or mother of my kid. I mean gal, and after 5 years I want to touch her and kiss her and hold her in my arms.
Yes. Frank can be smooth Billy D. Williams once in a while.
And then he gives some pretty great advice.
Maybe it's just because we've played it straight. I'm not kidding her, and she's not holding anything back. The more we're together, the more we like each other. When the first romantic fever was over, we didn't give up and try finding it somewhere else. We looked at each other instead, clearly, as we really were, and we liked what we saw.
I love when at one point she's sitting there, right? And she's like, Didn't she said something like, Frank's a real person?
He's a real person, and he expects me to be a real person, too.
I don't know, dude.
She's like, she said she's dated other people before, and she was saying about how Frank is a real person. I'm like, not like those cyborgs I dated in the past.
Frank does talk about how, men that prefer a pretty gal over a beautiful woman has a lot to learn.
The guy that prefers a pretty gal to a beautiful woman has got an awful lot to learn.
That's pretty wise.
Yeah, pretty wise.
Is wise.
Frank Wise should be his name.
So blah blah fucking blah. Chad's wife helps out at home with his work.
Take his work, for instance. There's a lot of math to be done in connection with this building competition he's entered. He could do it alone, of course. But it happens that I'm pretty good at math. And so we agreed that I would do part of it.
But she enjoys it because they're a fucking team.
It's work, sure. But it's fun, too.
Even though they bring up the fact that she had prior plans for her life before Frank.
Not Frank, Chad.
Chad.
We're on a different.
Sorry, I'm getting them confused. Chad.
It does hop around these three couples a lot. It was kind of hard to keep fucking track because that's why I called you the day we were watching it. And I was going to ask you about if this was the same couple, but you weren't where I was at yet. Anyway, trust and respect, blah, blah, fucking blah.
And the fact that he trusts me to do it well is what I call respect. And respect is something very important to me.
That just came out completely not how I wanted to do. Trust and respect, blah, blah, fucking blah. Oh, yeah, we find out that, Phyllis, I think it is. She's having a baby in 6 months.
I'll have to fly to get to that clinic on time. And I'm not finished with the ironing. Looks like I'll have to start changing a lot of habits. Even though the baby isn't due for another 6 months.
So she goes to the clinic, and they don't
with a turkey baster.
And they don't need each other to breathe, but they do depend on each other.
Neither one of us needs the other to live or breathe for him. On the other hand, we're not ashamed to depend on each other once in a while. As a team, we're going to be hard to beat.
Yeah, at one point, dude, she's sitting there amongst all these other women, and she says something like, she's like, I decided to be like all these other women, and I'm like dead inside.
It's what I gave up pathology for. It's to be a woman like all these other women. It's really being a person in the most complete sense.
Yeah, she did say about how she, I gave up my career so I could be like, every other woman and give a baby. Have a baby.
I love at one point, though, she's like, said something about, I'm not scared, or I didn't get scared. All of a sudden, she looked at the camera all wide-eyed. I'm like, I'm scared.
So, marriage is an institution for grown-ups, obviously.
Marriage is an institution for grown-ups.
Yeah, tell that to Arkansas. I'm kidding.
Kathy accepts herself.
Kathy has grown up to the point of accepting herself. A simple, good-natured soul who likes to love and be loved.
Frank! And Kathy get a visitor. It's Jim bringing over a list of the new Kiwanis members.
Oh, of course, Jim Kieran. He did promise to drop the list of new Kiwanis members.
The Ku Klux Klan members? What? A car drove by. I didn't hear you.
Kiwanis members.
Koala members. Oh, dude, I remember. Yeah, because he was like, dude, the way Chad said that shit. Chad, Frank, whatever, whoever. Is it Frank this time?
Frank. Yeah.
Frank tells his buddy, he's like, come inside for a drink. I'm like, dude, that's when his buddy knew Frank was gonna kill him.
Come on in for a few minutes, Jim. But sure, we're not doing a thing this evening.
She really didn't want fucking Jim there or anything, but she accepts it.
She gave all the signals. She's over there going like, it's the same thing your wife does to you when every Tuesday and Saturday I come over. She's like, oh, hi, Bird. Hi, nice to see you.
Dude, has my wife ever said nice to see you to you ever?
Nah.
So anyway, what I was saying, I forgot what I was fucking saying was, oh yeah, she accepts it and they make the best of it.
Kathy could easily do without the Kierans tonight. But Frank knows he may need Jim's vote when the council meets next week on that zoning proposition. So in they come. Well, that's the end of Mozart for tonight. It's tough, but Frank usually knows what he's doing. And so the Hartfords entertain the Kierans. It isn't exactly what either family planned or exactly what the ladies wanted. But it won't be such a bad evening.
She accepts it. She's like, yes, your stupid friend can come in. God.
And then across town at the Burns's doing work, and she's smoking while pregnant.
Jesus.
She was just at the clinic, and she's smoking while pregnant.
Oh, dude, if you drive by any clinic, you're going to see at least 5 or 6 chicks lighting up while pregnant.
And then they get a call to go to the movies.
Bill Martin. Be nice to see him and Eve soon. What's that? They want us to go to the movies tonight?
She wants to be responsible.
Of course we can't, darling. We agreed we were going to finish these plans. Sure, but I just told him we were spending the evening at home. But Phyllis is a big girl, too. If she's going to spend her time helping Chad, she's going to see that something comes of it. She's given up her career for the marriage, but that doesn't mean she's turned into a playgirl.
And Chad agrees that they should be responsible because they're fucking adults.
And Chad has grown up enough to adjust. To decide between two things that he wants by picking the one he wants most and letting the other go. He'd like to spend the evening with the Martins. And he'd like to finish the job. He knows he's lucky to have a wife who knows what he wants most.
So no butter on the popcorn?
No, they're just not going because they're responsible adults.
Wait, they're not going to the movies because they're responsible adults.
And they have work to do.
Oh, come on. You can play once in a while, can't you?
No.
Frank?
All work. All work.
All work and no play makes Frank a dull boy.
Frank! Frank! Mommy!
What the fuck are you doing, Mommy?
I'm sorry it's been in here so many times. I'm not.
Yeah, don't apologize to me. Apologize to Elle and Adam.
I wasn't apologizing to you. I was apologizing to them, but I'm not apologizing. So whatever, we get a final speech about the difference between, like, children and adults.
It's the real difference between an adult and a child. A child must get in order to live and enjoy life. An adult has enough for himself, and so he can afford to give. The child is weak and helpless, and has to receive love and food and shelter in order to feel strong and secure. A grown-up's strength and security is increased by the knowledge that he can give these things to someone else without a sense of sacrifice or loss.
Yeah, we got that.
Yeah.
And then we cut to this old couple, and the fucking old man's rolling up a joint, and they start smoking it.
Whoa, wait, I missed that.
It obviously wasn't a joint, it was a cigarette.
Oh, okay.
If you're able to get married, you should be responsible.
If they are old enough to marry, they should be adult enough to face the responsibility of making that marriage work. Each one, equally. That's what Chad and Phyllis, Frank and Kathy, and so many young couples all over the world are doing, and what they'll be doing tomorrow. How else can grown-ups find the sense of satisfaction, the dignity, the grace, the inner happiness of a full life?
And marriage is still a goal for moderns.
Marriage is still a goal for moderns.
End credits.
Marriage is a goal for moderns and Adam and Elnick.
So I hope this episode helped, was entertaining.
We hope she said yes.
Yeah, because if not, this episode will just be a painful reminder that he'll just be sitting there watching on a loop, being like,
I know, and other people sit there commenting going, poor dude, man, that sucks.
But that's the risk, man. That's the risk you take.
They've been together for 11 years. I'm pretty sure the answer would be yes.
So
You know?
on that note,
After 11 years, and the answer was nah, bruh, nah. I'd be like, Jesus Christ. I would
So-
actually get on those cheap flights. I would fly over to the UK, and I would find El Enigma, and that's the only words that would come out, and I would say it in the best English British accent I possibly could. I'm like, Jesus Christ! And then get back on the plane.
So on that note, for Gutter and Bird, we'll see you tomorrow for the real episode.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
If this starts a trend, and all of a sudden people everywhere just be like, "Hey, I want to get married too," we might get ordained.
Well, yeah, I mean, fuck, I'd do that. I'd get ordained and like marry people for money. But no, we didn't do this for money. We did this because El Enigma has been a fucking fan and constant commenter for fucking years, it seems, on our videos.
Yeah. She's a big fan. Appreciate it.
Yeah, so we had to do it. We just fucking felt like we needed to fucking do it.
Yeah. So here's to raise a glass, if you got one, to Adam and El Enigma.
I got some orange Coke. No, hold on 1 second. I will be right back.
What are you doing? You're not going to get naked, are you?
I'm back. It is 10:30 in the morning, and just for Adam and El Enigma, which I hope she said yes, because if not, almost the very end of the fucking Maker's Coons. You know, it's a special occasion, because this is normally kept for fucking Coons, or when me and Bird feel like drinking out of it. So yeah, pull up your coffee. Here's to you guys. Hope he said yes. We're assuming a lot. Whew. That's been a good 2 months since we got to that.
Yeah, that's tangy, isn't it? That'll wake you up in the morning.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess we'll just go away and put up more outtakes, because we got a lot of outtakes because we were nervous or stalling,
rambling, and trying to stretch time as much as we could.
So yeah, we'll see you later.
They are like the thousands of other young couples, hopeful and resolute, who every day in America go through the most serious, solemn ceremony that man can voluntarily enter into. A ceremony that is a sacrament in every religion. It is a binding contract under every law. That is celebrated with joy in every culture. Moderns enter the most traditional of all human relationships with the knowledge that nothing can make a marriage work except the people who are living it, now or at any other time in man's history.
So you ready for this? I mean, seriously ready for this? Because, yeah.
No.
I'm not really either, but, you know, it is what it is. The stuff oh, God damn it! So this is how it's going to start, right? It's all going to be like this, dude. Adam, I'm fucking sorry, dude. It's going to be like this. I have a feeling.
Do it. You're going to start, and then that thing's just going to drop over, and you're like, God damn it! Right in the middle of, you know, whatever your plan is.
She wanted a family, wanted marriage. Moderns like Phyllis think of marriage as a voluntary state for both men and women. A reasonable goal for adults, not an end in itself.
Those are the figures. Like, we haven't really had problems filming any episodes except this one. I mean, we haven't had any problems really yet. Knock on wood.
That's because we're being forced to do things that we have never been asked to do before.
We are not being forced.
I fucked my chin beard up hardcore.
It is, and they'll remember that forever. They will remember your fucked up fucking chin beard for the rest of their lives.
I guess it's not that bad. Could be worse.
If young people could look into the minds of modern couples, how would they find that question answered? What are the positive values that go with the jokes about the ball and chain?
Yeah, we're not being forced to do anything, dude. We just, he nicely asked, and we were like, yes, we'll do a whole fucking episode. What is wrong with us?
Yes, companionship, but not just being with another person. Phil is very much a gal, and these bars are like going on a date with a companionship angle added. It's mornings like this, getting up when it's still cool, feeling alone and yet not quite alone, not lonely.
Nah, dude, I'm glad to fucking help, man. I'm seriously glad to help. We all need to help people out nowadays. At least to make, other people and ourselves feel better, at least.
Yeah. I got like a whole bunch of notes here too.
Yeah, I got like almost 2 pages of notes on this 20-minute long thing, which I put way more effort and thought into this than I did my own goddamn fucking proposal to my wife.
Maybe I do take a little more responsibility than I would if I'd gone out with Jack or Willie. So what? To tell the truth, I get a kick out of it. The old business of being the man of the house, making believe we're tougher or something. But it makes you feel good anyhow. There's a lot of things like that I've started to do since we decided to go it together. Trying to understand her crazy notions, having patience and encouraging her when she's low, really respecting her for the terrific gal she is.
But yeah, dude, I have no plan. Not at all. So it's like, are we really going to go into this just like we do everything else? With no plan, just wing it. Yeah, really the only plan I even had for it was to be like, kind of intro this. Like, not even really give an excuse why we're putting out a Monday show. Just be like, hey, everybody, it's Monday again. So that means blah, 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 blah. And then, we would come back on. I would intro the thing and then be like, oh, fuck, there was one thing I wanted to talk about or that we wanted to talk about in the beginning, but we forgot. And then just do it there. And then go on with the episode after that. That was really the only plan I had.
Frank.
Mommy.
Frank.
Mommy. Anywho,
Yeah.
So we could say like, something like they've been together, 11 years?
Mm-hmm.
How long we've been doing the show?
Not that long. YouTube, I think, is on 6, I think. We've had our channel on YouTube since 2008. That's 12 years, but we also, for the first few years, weren't doing anything but re-releasing Primal Soup stuff.
Things are merrier if less productive over at the... There are no boys in a modern marriage. No one who is right all the time, or even most of the time. And no slaves. There are people who feel pushed around, even part of the time. Moderns are rather proud of being free. But freedom in marriage is mostly freedom to give. A wonderful freedom for those who will use it and enjoy it.
Oh, but no, I plan on making reference to them the whole way through this. Like, the whole way. Because, surprisingly, there is some decent advice in this PSA. I kind of wasn't expecting there to be, like, actual thing, be like, hey, it's not going to be perfect, blah, blah, blah. That kind of, just like, regular common sense stuff, which you don't really get in these things.
Well, did you see that part where she was talking shit about Frank?
Well, when it was like, he's not the handsomest and he's not the smartest. Yeah. It's true, though.
Yeah, I know, but then there's one point where she talks about his sexual performance. I swear to God.
I didn't notice that fucking part.
What the fuck? It was at 3:15, 13:15, at 13 minutes and 15.
Well, what was the exact thing she said?
She said something about like he's looking for action, and then she says something, but his performance isn't great or whatever, something like that, or it doesn't last long. She says, but he doesn't last long.
I do not remember this at all. But hey, whatever. Bring it up all you want.
When it comes to that point, you'll know. Frank. Money.
What the fuck are you doing, Mommy?
Well, yeah, dude, I already plan on making Frank, Mommy part of their special day. Like, their special day, they will always remember the Bride of fucking Frank when they think back of their special day.
Might as well put Frank's fucking feet at the end.
Nah, dude, I ain't fucking ruin them that much. They can get the Frank and the Mummy, but yeah, I ain't gonna fucking scar them like that.
Then for the fight time, we play pussy. Now I'm married. I can't wait to have children.
So yeah, dude, I'm ready whenever you are, man.
We should, after Monday, after the episode airs, have him send us something, a message saying she said yes, just so we can go back on and say, oh, by the way, she said yes.
Well, it won't be on that episode.
We're going to be like left in suspense.
Well, but I was also planning. Well, dude, they're going to be hearing this right now. This is outtakes. This is the outtakes on the episode. But I was also planning. So, Adam, why don't you go and comment on this video? You know, if she said yes and all that other stuff, and I'll fucking pin that. So whenever anybody watches this video, that will be the top comment.
So, what's your fail-safe if she said no?
I don't have a fail-safe. That's on him.
That's on him. I love how you're like, Adam, we're all in this together, unless she turns you down, and then I don't know you, man.
Dude, no, what the fuck are we supposed to do, dude? Half a world away. You know, we're doing our part. I can't fucking do nothing else. So if she says no and he comments, she said no, I'm not taking the video down. Just so you know. She says no, this video is staying up to remind you.
We'll get a cheap flight to the UK, and we'll find her. And it'll be like, how could you do this to him? You know, when he turns out to be a douche, and we'll be like, well, I guess it was okay, and then fly back here.
Yeah, none of that is going to happen.
You don't know. Anything's possible.
She's going to say yes, and they're going to be happy.
Well, isn't that just a rosy picture right there?
I need some kind of rosiness in my life. That's why I agreed to do this.
How long have you been married?
Like 13 years.
And do you look fucking happy?
Yeah. I love my wife very fucking much, dude.
That face says it all right there.
Well, dude, life around me is not a happy thing. Me and my wife, we're good. We love each other very much, but life is life.
You're like, we love each other very much. So fucking much.
That's what you have to look forward to, dude. So, are we starting this now, or are we like killing more time? Because if we're killing more time, I'm going grabbing another cigarette before we get this started.
Go grab a cigarette then.
All right. Since we're not going to have an extra podcast for this episode, we'll just have extra long credits, like outtakes. And plus, it's going to be a long episode nonetheless. So, yeah, dude, have you ever fucking thought in all these years of doing whatever fucking public access bullshit, all this YouTube bullshit, did you ever think that we would honestly, us being us, be asked to help somebody propose to their fucking girlfriend?
Nah.
Because, you would think that normal people would look at us and be like, I don't want these two dickbags helping me do nothing with love.
Right?
These crude dick bags.
Like, I don't think I need their help. I think I can handle this.
Oh, no, he better end that proposal with blah, blah, fucking blah, or I'm going to be mad.
Wow.
Will you be with me forever and blah, blah, fucking blah?
That'd be great.
I mean, he won't see this till after the proposal's over, but I mean, it's kind of a little weird that we are seriously just going straight forward into this. No plan, no nothing. Whatever happens.
Well, isn't that how we do everything?
Yeah. And I mean, with like, I said I was going to send him a link so he could watch it before, it comes out on Monday. But if he doesn't like it, it ain't getting changed. Because there's no time.
Right.
It's like that's what you get when you fucking message me on like Thursday, being like, "Hey, I want to propose to my girlfriend on Monday. Help out."
All of a sudden, you turn into Joaquin Phoenix's Joker. You get what you fucking deserve.
I know, dude. They're fans of ours. They deserve the best that we could give, which is nothing. But hey, happy proposal, man. Happy proposal. So are we just stalling? Is that what we're doing? We're just stalling so we don't have to do this?
Yes,
Kind of feels like stalling.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah. So I guess whatever. We just gonna fucking see how this rolls.
Yeah, we can always keep do it again if we don't like it.
Well, I don't want to do it. I don't want to keep doing that because then by the end of it, we'll be like, "God damn it, just married a fucking dude." Hey, everybody, got her already. All fucking ready.
Listen, just get to the part where you say it's like an anniversary, and I'll take over.
No, I mean that doesn't matter. Hey, everybody, got our burner. It's Monday again, and that means
Wait a minute, Monday again? I'm confused. There must be something special about today.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like an anniversary.
Like an anniversary. And speaking of anniversaries, El Nigma, Adam has a question for you.
Nah.
Nah. It's going to be your end result? Nah. That might be her end result.
Probably. But no, it was all good and all, but just put the love you very, he put in the thing what he told me to say was like, he has a love you very much part in it. So put that part in it.
How do I know very much? I could be lying.
He said it to me.
He could be lying. He said it. He told you he loves you very much?
No, well, yes, he did that too, but you know.
Well, wait a minute. Wait, who's he love more, you or El Nigma?
Well, her, but he loves us enough to, whatever, it doesn't fucking matter. Let's just start that fucking over again.
He loves us. It's just her. He more. I don't know.
Hey, everybody, got our burner. It's Monday again. Wait. Hey, everybody, got our burner. It's Monday again. So that means.
That means I'm very confused because it's Monday again? I mean, this must be a special day.
Well, yeah, it's kind of like a fucking anniversary. And speaking of fucking anniversaries.
Yes, El Nigma. Adam has a question for you.
You left it out the poem.
Well, I'm so sorry. I love you very much. Adam, I love you very much.
Dude, this is the most takes we put into an episode ever. Absolutely ever.
The next take will be like, I'll be like, I did not hit her. I did not.
I'm like, good. Cut.
I know, no. I'd be like, next one, I'd be like, El Nigma, Adam says I love you very much. Or that's a good way to say it, I guess. But my way would be like, I'd be like, El Nigma, I love you very much.
Okay,
Sonic Adam.
How about this? I'll go to the hey, El Nigma, Adam loves you very much, and then you could do the question part, and he has a very important question to ask.
Adam told us he loves you very much. We're skeptical, but he.
I mean, he must contact two random fuckballs in America to fucking do this for him.
Like, Adam obviously doesn't give two fucks about you because he got these two idiots to help him with this.
No, I have a thing, dude. Adam, what was your backup plan if we said no? I want to know what your backup. It was probably better than this. You should have went with your backup plan, dude.
He's like, yeah, I was gonna propose to her at the Eiffel Tower, but I decided to get two fat fuckballs from Pittsburgh to be like, hey, down there at his house, he wants to propose to you. Yeah.
So, all right. Take 3. This is 2 more takes than we've ever done. Hey, everybody. Gunnar Bard here. It's Monday again, so that means
I'm very confused because it's Monday again?
well, it's like a special kind of almost like anniversary.
It's a
You know,
special
like
kind of day.
yeah, it's so fucking special that Enigma, Adam's got a fucking question for you. Damn it! No, I left out the part.
You're stupid. Take 4.
I quit. I ain't doing it anymore. No episodes coming out on Monday. He's just gonna wait for it, and it's never gonna come out.